Something else that really changed our life was the whole pandemic, and are we out of it, Keith? I mean, I just coughed before I said that, so maybe not.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I was like, yo, hey, I put a mask over my microphone.
DJ Playboy.
What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. And I do no episode without my dog, my man, my
Girl,
partner.
scream like I'm Keith.
What to do, brother?
What's happening? How you feeling, brother?
Life's good, man. Life's good on this side for now, right? Before World War III. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy. You know, it's crazy, the World War III. You know, they got the black judge about to hit the Supreme Court. The second black judge about to hit the Supreme Court, and first black woman. And it's like, man, I gotta check this out. Then turn on the news, and it's all about Ukraine.
I mean, her shit was pretty depressing too to watch.
Oh yeah, it was tough.
I'm like, y'all just gonna yell at her for a couple days just to let her in anyway.
Word.
But shout out to her name is Kitana Brown Jackson, right?
God damn, son. Yo, you're not allowed to do ethnic names no more, bro. Jesus Christ. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Kitani? Would you wait? Say her name one more time.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, because I kept referring to her as Jackson. For some reason, I thought her last name was Brown. And I'm like, why do I keep calling her Jackson? I was so confused. But, I was like, all right. But shout out to her, man. That's really inspiring to see her up there. I mean, like I said, the shit was depressing to watch, but like to see her in that position, she's a strong sister.
Yeah, it's insane because her resume is bananas, and it's like the political shit is like it's crazy.
Yeah, because the Republicans is like, did you see what they did to Kavanaugh? So I'm like, so we got to do this to you. I'm like, yo, that's y'all just wasting time, bro. Just wasting. It's stupid, bro. It's like it's all theater, man. But let's see what's new. I started implementing like different nights of the week, mostly the weekend, with my daughter to do like specific things. Like we did a game night. We got a game night where we'll play video games. We'll play like Jenga or something like that, or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. And then we got like a movie night, and we watched that new Disney movie, Turning Red. I don't know if you heard anything about it, but it's cool, right? It's like I didn't read the description. I just seen like a commercial or two and watched it, and it was it was an interesting movie, right? And at a certain point, I'm like, and I don't think I'm the only person that believes this. Is like I'm confused. I'm like, is it a metaphor for getting your period? Because they kind of touch on that a little bit within the movie. And I don't know what I actually think. My theory is like when the movie was written, I think it was meant to be a metaphor for that. But I think Disney was like we can't dip our foot too deep into that. So let's kind of give it this twist. Whereas like she becomes like I just at a certain age, she becomes a panda, like a big red panda kind of. And it's an interesting movie because it's like coming of age. So it's like it deals with a young Asian girl, and she's starting to have feelings for boys and stuff like that. And there's a boy band that she likes, and the movie's just getting all types of like weird backlash. Like this one pastor said like it's it reminds him of satanic worship. You know what I mean? Certain scenes within the movie. It's just everybody's got their own opinions. They're gonna say some type of shit. But it's an interesting movie. It's good to watch because I guess as a parent, of a young girl, you don't really know how to even touch on those subjects. So it's like kind of a segue into it, I guess. You know what I mean? Kind of what it's touching on.
You know how like in the ratings they might put like rated PG. I don't know what this movie's rated, but
PG.
like it's rated P. It's PG.
Yeah.
It's rated PG, parental guidance, but really what that means that it might be like farting in it or some shit like that. And, or there might be like cartoon violence, like somebody bonked somebody else over the head with a pillow or something.
Yeah.
But this sounds like it's for real, like parental guidance, like you need to be there and the kid it sounds like for a kid of a certain age. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely, because like they definitely, like I said, they touch on like the adolescent girl experience in her period. Like that's what her mom first thought, you know what I mean? And when they dealt with that scene, I could like my daughter, I don't even think she understood what that was. You know what I'm saying? Like when the mom's like trying to give her like, you know, like tampons and pads and stuff like that. There was like scenes where like she's then, and you know, like, spoiler alert, you know, anybody out there plans on watching it, but like there's like scenes where she's like drawing like a boy that she has a crush on, and she's drawing all this stuff in her book, and then eventually her mom finds it. But I thought that was a little racy. You know what I'm saying? Like for a Disney movie, it was like I didn't really walk into it expecting it. But I'm not that type of parent that feels like I gotta hide everything from my kid too. Like obviously you want to prepare what you so you want to be careful what you expose them to. But I'm not the type of parent that feels like, oh, you got to hide your kid from everything, because I feel like you might do them a disservice with that.
Right.
Sometimes the uncomfortable stuff leads to conversations that might be beneficial in the long term. Uncomfortable in the moment, but beneficial in the long term.
Do you feel like you're gearing up for that talk? Because how old's your daughter?
7, turning 8
Okay.
this year. No, not at all. You know, and luckily she's still in the little girl mode. But I'm not gonna go into the delusion of, you get caught up in that, and then you get kind of blindsided when the next thing you know they're developing and they're liking boys, and you know what I mean. And so like that. I think my thing right now is really like a lot of the stuff that she's watching. Like we might have talked on this on a previous podcast, but like certain shows she's watching, if the themes are too much like about dating, or you know, girls having crushes on boys, and just kind of their world revolving around how a boy feels about them, I definitely try to stay away from programming like that, because I'm like, I don't want her to fall into that trap. Like school ain't the place. I don't want her mentality to, especially at this age, but at all, to be like school's the place where you go to date and you go to, and I know it is though. I know that's what school is for kids, because we did it, right? That's how you develop and learn things about the opposite sex and things like that. But I just don't want it to be the main focus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to know that school, what the goal is and what the main goal is, and hopefully you could go on to higher education and figure out what it is that you want to do in life. And you can get sidetracked really easy because you caught up over a boy or a crush over a boy. But like, that's the reality of it. That's going to happen at some point, you know what I'm saying? And maybe not to that extent, but that's going to be something that you have to deal with, and maybe a conversation I have to have, you know what I mean? And I guess, you know, as the father of a daughter, maybe I think about it a little bit earlier than I would if I had a son, but it's still the same conversations you got to have. And my dad had conversations with me more so about what not to do and how to handle myself and how to not get caught up. Which, you know, I guess I should thank him for now, because he saved me from several Me Too situations. But like, I always thought it was weird at the time. I was like, why are you telling me this?
Well, it's funny.
Always brought up Mike Tyson and Tupac. You always brought them up.
Right. I was about to say that.
I don't think he thought they was innocent though. I think he thought they was guilty, but he still brought them up.
I don't know if it's the product of our generation. I don't know if like the generation before us, if they had examples of, look at these people. This is what not to do. I guess for the generation older than us, they probably like, yo, don't piss nobody off. Don't piss the wrong person off, even if you could beat them in a fight, because they could always shoot you. Look at Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke. So for us, it's like, you know, I just wonder if it's our generation, because like, I think Tupac and Mike Tyson are like firmly in our brains. Like, yo, just, you know, it doesn't matter if you're right, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. Just, you know, conduct yourself in a certain way around women, especially if there's like, is you and your friends around. You may just want to leave that area because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I talk. Well, not to that extent, but I'll tell my daughter that now, because, you know, I've walked past, you know, like schoolyards and seen like, you know, little boys and girls, but like they're kind of playing rough, you know what I'm saying? And I'll let her know, like, don't let nobody put their hands on you. Don't let nobody think they could touch you. Don't let nobody like do stuff like that. And that's conversations I feel like that's not inappropriate to have now. That's very appropriate, you know what I'm saying? Because especially because she's tall and she's fast. And I don't know, you know how kids are. Like, I'm taller than you. I'm faster than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might, like, the pride thing might hurt certain little boys and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? I'm just letting them know, like, just because you bigger than somebody don't mean you stronger than them. You know what I mean? Or don't mean that they could put their hands on you. You know what I'm saying? In any type of way, like, you got to know what's limitations and how to handle yourself. And even certain things, like, you can't just allow it, because then you got to shut it down from everybody, you know what I'm saying? And at all times, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna stand up for myself today and let this slide the next day, because the people take that as a pass, you know what I mean? And you can't roll like that.
Right.
But maybe we're lucky because of the Me Too situation too. Like that whole thing happening made us probably look at shit a little bit differently.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I wonder how young kids process it. Well, young boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Or even if their parents expose them to it, have those conversations with them. Like, I always felt like that. If I ever had a little boy, like, I still have to have, because like I said, the experience my dad gave me. But like, yeah, I don't know if everybody thought like that. Like, yo, I gotta have these conversations with my son. He'll just develop, or he'll just figure it out, or you know what I mean, or they'll figure it out in school. But nah, you can't leave it to chance no more, man. Something else that really changed our life was the whole pandemic, and are we out of it, Keith? I mean, I just coughed before I said that, so maybe not.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I was like, yo, hey, I put a mask over my microphone.
But how like, well, I don't know how it is for you, but it's for us, it's like life after mask right now. You know what I'm saying? I had to wear it at my workplace. I wore it everywhere I went, pretty much, even though I was vaccinated. But now it's officially, you go in, you don't really see it anymore. So it's kind of life after. You see employees still wearing it in certain places, post office, the supermarket, but not any of the customers for the most part. How has life after mask been on your side?
Yeah, I mean, over by me, people were still wearing masks when a lot of the country was like, when they were like, that, like, they were like, yo, you should really wear it, but it's optional. And much of the country just it's like, all right, let's party, Holmes. I'm like, around me, they were still wearing it. But now, like, they took away the mask mandate in the schools and stuff, and I feel like people around here, like, really is following suit. Like, all right, my kid doesn't have to wear it at school. Let's relax a little bit. And I won't lie to you, that sets up an environment where it just feels safer. So I walked through Home Depot today, and I ain't gonna lie to you, man. There's something about Home Depot that just makes me. It just feels like a super spreader event. It's not even crowded, because Home Depot got mad floor space, so you're not on top of people like a supermarket or something. But I always just felt unsafe in Home Depot. But today I just walked through that joint. It's just going through, looking at industrial glue and shit. Just no mask.
I felt like old times.
Yeah, I was in a car dealership and shit today doing negotiations. No mask.
It's good. It feels nice.
Yeah, it does. I won't lie to you, man. There's a certain, as weird as it is to say, a certain kind of freedom. And I think that's what, some people were manufacturing a lot of their anger, but a lot of people just wanted to feel free.
Mm-hmm. Even like
the mask was like kind of limiting to a lot of people.
Yeah, and then I think it just took time, right? It just took time to know. Like, I mean, there were people who said it from the jump, like, you don't need to wear it outdoors. But it's like, I didn't believe that at first. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now I could feel completely different. Like, I even remember talking on this podcast about that Texas Rangers game where it was packed, right? It was like the heart of the pandemic, and mad people came out to watch this baseball game. And I'm just like, yo, like, shout out to them. I apologize if I offended any of them, because they were the true guinea pigs. To know that, you know what I'm saying, you can have outdoor events and it not be necessarily a super spreader, right? Because after that, you saw if they didn't do that, then we wouldn't have had the Lollapaloozas and the festivals that came back this past summer that were awesome to watch. You know what I mean? So shout out to the people who took that chance and they were out there. But you know what I mean? But like I said, I don't know if we out of Corona overseas. It seems to be having another surge. But whatever point that we're at right now, I still gotta say, like I said from day one, it's a weird ass disease, bro. This shit is just hard to figure out. It don't really make much sense. It's a weird one.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, the everyone's saying follow the scientists, and the scientists, they got a lot of stuff right, but they got a whole bunch of stuff wrong too. Mm-hmm. And 2 years later, they understand a whole bunch about it, but it's still so much they don't understand. You know, they're like, all right, man, things is looking pretty good now. Next day, yo, there's some new joint. They're literally in what's the joint called? Omarion B2K, some shit like that. I'm like, damn, dog. Like, right when you felt like good, you're like, right. Delta winded down. Right on the back of Delta was Omicron 1. Mm-hmm. Shit cool down. Everybody take your masks off. Schools no more masks. Right on the back of that is Omicron Omicron BA. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a different version of Omicron.
Okay.
The shit is I can't even say scary anymore because I'm not scared, but it's just confusing because at the same time, like you still have to test negative to get into a lot of places. So you don't, if you want to travel international and stuff like that, you gotta test negative. So, like, yeah, I feel pretty confident that nothing crazy is gonna happen to me if I become infected, if I test positive. However, if I test positive and I have something to do, then that limits me from doing that thing.
It's a pain in the ass now.
Right.
But even like, and I don't know if it just gets weaker or herd immunity or all that shit, but I like listen to like a lot of podcasts like in chronological backwards order, I guess. So it's like I'm back on certain podcasts going through the heart of like actually the beginning of Corona, and you hear people talk about it, and the shit that they talk about back then don't even sound like the way people get sick now. Like motherfuckers is just obviously the taste and the smell thing, but like there was a lot of like people talking about like just having digestive issues and sharp pains in their stomach and shit like that, and it's like, yo, this shit was nuts, bro. You know what I mean? And this shit was just taking motherfuckers out, like, and it's just to see where we're at now, man. And then on top of what you said was so like, what you said was true about how the virus itself behaved. The politicizing of it, you know what I'm saying, was just even more confusing, right? Like, the vaccine dropped like what, a week after the election. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fan of Donald. Donald Trump is an interesting guy to me, but I wasn't a fan of him being the president either. But come on now, like, yo, what do you a week after? I wasn't even out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even let it like linger. Yeah, like, all right, he out. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, it's like, come on, stuff like, oh, the scientists telling us, nah, don't worry about masks, but we find out later that's because they thought the healthcare workers were going to run out of them, you know what I mean? And they did that to handle human behavior, but it still feels deceptive, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's been a weird, what are we 2 years into this bitch, right?
Yeah.
So we're going on the third, well, yeah, after 2 years into it this March, yeah. Yo, that's nuts, bro. Yo, we are. It's been a wild ride, Corona. But the funny thing is, the mask is like it feels like the end, right? But it's really not. Like, I think it's gonna be like the flu, to be honest with you. I'm sure we'll have to get boosted, maybe on a 6-month basis. Or you'll just take your chances and hope that one of these new treatments, you know what I'm saying, will help you that come out, but. I feel like people just gonna be like eventually like, yo, fuck it, I've been rocking whatever way you've been rocking, you're gonna keep rocking, right? If you ain't get vaccinated, you'll take your chances, and if you've been rocking with the vaccine, you're like, all right, fuck it, it's been working.
Yeah. Look at Kyrie Irving, man. Like, people like, man, this guy's a goofball. Now the dude's like a damn an American hero and shit. Like, man, free Kyrie, let him play. He has the right not to get vaccinated. Same people that was like, man, this guy, you better get vaccinated. What kind of example are you for the kids?
Nah, but that New York City shit's a little like funny style. Like how you just letting the athletes go slide through, but the fucking police and the motherfuckers working in the hospital, fire department, like, nah, y'all still ain't get the vaccine? Guess not. Guess not. Like, damn, that's foul, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and Eric Adams is like, what you want, nigga? No Yankees? Yeah. Where Aaron Judge to sit down, nigga?
Word.
But as someone who I guess was a little bit too into the mask lifestyle, was your man Ryan Coogler in Atlanta of all places. Maybe that's what got him in trouble, because people wasn't rocking masks like that in Atlanta. He like, yo, I'm going in this bank with my glasses, my mask. I'm thinking niggas is jacking niggas out here. I got to keep my identity on the low. Walked in with a note, right? Wrote on the back of a deposit slip. Wrote a note to the teller, and that freaked the teller the fuck out. She decided to call the cops on him. At Ryan Coogler, hemmed up, despite him giving his ID and his swiping his debit card.
You know, that shit is crazy because I feel as if that teller, firstly, she wasn't very competent, but also I think certain things from her life might have clouded her brain, like movies she watched, right? Like you think of a movie, how do they rob a bank? They slip them a piece of paper, put the money in the bag, don't say shit, I'm gonna kill you. She the paper was there, said exactly what to do. Look, listen, man, I don't want, I'm taking out mad bread, and I don't need you flipping through 20s and hundreds all in front of people and handing it to me. Just go in the corner, count my shit. And like, I think that she just didn't process it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever came to her brain said, yo, this stuff looks awfully like The Town or some shit. Or fucking Ocean's 9 or whatever. So therefore, I'm gonna call the cops. And it's crazy. His ID, the proper account number. She didn't even punch that shit in, and she just said, "Oh, this is a bank robbery." So
she went straight to the phone.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, he should have been. When she did that, he should have been like, yo. Just give me my shit back, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me my shit back.
Just give me my shit back.
No weapon, no nothing.
No. I gotta stand up because she been getting drugged through the mud. I gotta stand up, and I'm surprised nobody said. I worked in a bank, right? Right out of college, first job out of college, worked at a bank, right? How long is that, right? Well, how would it be? That's what 2006 we graduated, so you're looking at 16 years, right? 16 years removed from this. So I don't know how the bank industry is now, right? But also, upstate New York is a little bit, that city that The Town was filmed in?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, we tend to have a good amount of bank robberies for some reason up here. Right? So when I worked in the bank, they was on some like, I worked in there for a month. In that span of a month, we probably had 2 like meetings based on bank robberies and how to behave in a bank robbery. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I wanted to quit. I was just like, yo, I'm fresh out of college. All my friends were still in college. I just wasn't ready to work. So I was like, yo, I told him, I was like, yo, I'm nervous about getting robbed. Like, y'all keep talking about this shit. Like, I don't want to work here no more. So it's like that. And that was my reason I gave him. But in her defense, I don't know how it is now. But a month in, you know what I'm saying? You hearing about getting robbed all the time. You're like, this ain't even my money. Why I'm getting guns pointed at my, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start thinking like, how often? Why y'all so cool about this? Why is this so cavalier, like a regular thing? You know what I'm saying? So if her experience was like mine, maybe she just might have been spooked out, and him coming in covered up like that just kind of like made her go right to that mode, because they kind of drill into you, this is how it's gonna go, and to keep your composure, you know what I'm saying, and how to behave and what to do and what bills to hand them and blah 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 blah. So it's like, she might, like I said, I'm playing hard devil's advocate here, but she just might have been a little spooked out from just the training of the job itself, depending on if she seemed new too, right? You know what I mean? So like I said, if it's possible, but also I feel like Ryan Coogler, if you really felt like that with the money, why wouldn't you go to like isn't there like don't you go to the desk, like, them desks when you want to open an account? Can't you go to them and do a transaction?
You can, but would you have thought to do that if you want your money? Wouldn't you just go to you can't go to the ATM because it's too much money.
That's what I'm saying. And I thought his whole thing about it was, the whole discreet thing was like, I ain't trying to get hemmed up. Like, I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? You counting the money right here in front of everybody looks a little nutty. So I would imagine if you go to them and let them know what your situation is and just who you are, I'm assuming they can take care of that a lot more discreetly, right? Especially if they have those little cubicles, or they have that little, you know what I'm saying? Like, or if they have an office, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would think, because I've never really had to deal with them unless I was opening an account. That's the only time I deal with those people. But I thought that they did, from what I understood about their job, like I said, when I worked there, I thought that they have just the same ability a teller has, if not much more.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's interesting. Interesting because the way I thought about it is that once it comes to you taking cash out your account, you go to the teller, and I guess that depends on the bank. But there's been times I've worked with that concierge desk type thing you talking about,
Yeah.
and then I had to take out whatever amount of money. And they're like, all right, great. You know, that sounds great. This is how I'll look and da-da-da. So all you got to do is just go to the teller. You could actually skip the line. I'll send you up there, and then they'll handle the rest. They'll hand you your shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess that depends on how a particular bank operates because that desk person will handle the paperwork. But in either case, you want money. You say, all I need is cash. I don't need nothing else. I don't want that dude at the desk trying to sell me some mortgage or a retirement plan.
Some
all
extra
I want
account.
yeah. So all I want is the money, but I don't. So I don't need people to know that the dude who directed Black Panther and possibly Black Panther 2 is out here in the middle of Atlanta pulling out racks.
And that's another.
I can't ignore the topic of race though.
Yeah,
You think race had anything to do with it? You see a black guy, you know, you described the mask stuff. He had the COVID mask on. He had some shades on, and he's a black man. Do you think he would have been treated any different if he was white?
Shorty was black though.
Huh?
Shorty was black. That called the cops on him. The teller was black.
Well, does that matter? I mean, you know, black racist people. I mean, you know, we've been in circles where people are like, man, I'll tell you something about black people. It'd be all black people.
I'll say this. Maybe not because I don't really know black people to rob banks like that.
Right.
I think of that as white. Remember White Crime? We had an episode called White Crime.
Yeah.
I think bank robberies is a white ass crime.
Well, yeah.
If it happened outside the bank, I'm like, yo, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why you roll up on me looking like that outside the bank? then yeah, but inside the bank, that's what happens in the movies.
Yeah, well, what would have happened? I mean, people brought. Well, I think people particularly brought up race because of how the police treated him after the fact.
Yeah, the police.
You know, they came, they didn't really check into what was going on.
Guns drawn.
Right, guns drawn. That shit is crazy. And somehow this bank robber said, I'm gonna just wait here for this transaction to transpire. You know, what the fuck kind of bank robbery is that?
She's taking awfully long.
Yeah. Dude was surprised. Ryan Coogler was surprised. Like, whoa, what? Son, how scared would you be, son? Like, you just like, yo, you're doing the absolute, like, most upstanding citizen thing that there is to do. You go to the bank to take out money, right? Like, you don't got your shit in the mattress. Like, you know, you're not getting it from some weird dude on some corner or nothing like that. You're getting your money out of your account with your ID and you that tied to you, all your information. And then this lady's taking long. First, you probably pissed off at that, but like, yo, this lady's a doofus. And then you turn around, you see guns drawn on you. Like, that's crazy. And I don't know if that would happen to a white dude. Any part of that. I don't think so, man. I think that so let's acknowledge, I think we would agree that it is a strange way to request money, but also it's not a typical amount of money. So
I think you one or the other. I think if you're gonna do the note, lose the mask. If you're gonna do the mask, lose the note, right? Like, you know how you ever be somewhere and you be like, I'm too black for this. Like, I can't get away with this right now.
Yeah.
That's all. Let me just make it more comfortable before everybody starts jumping to conclusions here. I think you gotta, like, I don't know, and I'm not saying that Ryan Coogler should have done that because I don't think he should have experienced. But I just think my thought would have been like, nah, I'm light skinned, but I'm too black for this. Like, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah. I think they would have gave, because I think it was in the moment for the bank teller maybe a confusing thing, and then I think it was a white dude to be like, let me see my manager. I just don't understand what's happening right now. Go to her manager. But
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought that was the
cops.
procedure. Like, why would you? That's what I would assume the procedure would have been. You know what I'm saying? But also, I can't speak for what she thought in the moment, right? Like, out of fight or flight, like so.
Well, the procedure is you get a dude his money. You check, this is your account. You however they verify it, type in your PIN, here ID, give me a debit card, whatever it is that All right, we verify your identity. We verify that this stuff is yours. We verify that you actually have that amount of money in your account. Here is your money. That's usually. I bought a house. I had to get money for the down payment. I bought a car, so I've had to take out sums of money. I don't know if I've ever had to take out 10,000, but I've taken out a few thousand before at a time, and that's just the procedure. And the first time I ever did it, it was like that's it. Y'all don't need to know social. Nah, you just all right. So just swipe your debit card right there, type in your PIN. All right, no doubt. How much you want? Not what denominations. And. And I don't want to say much out loud. I just give them a nod. That'll be fine right there, man. And then they've tried to hand me the cash just like that. Just slide it under the window. I'm like, can you put that in the envelope, please? So I guess that's why I could relate to him. And I feel as if, maybe it's a strange way to request it. Not strange in the sense that he's wrong for doing that, but strange in the sense that's not something you see every day. Yeah. And I think that all he needed was the benefit of the doubt, or at least somebody said, "You're just saying I just don't understand this. I want to do right by you, so I need help understanding this because I'm new." And I think that if he weren't black, I think he would have gotten the benefit of the doubt. Granted he was wearing shades and shit, but yeah.
No, I was gonna say the funny thing is I think they both was nervous of the same thing. And you got two people nervous of getting robbed.
Right.
Like he's worried about who's, what I'm saying? Like I've heard, I don't like the dude Terrence J from 106 & Park. Yeah. Like I heard niggas followed him home to try to rob him. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Like so you know what I'm saying? I'm sure if you in industry circles, you probably hear some crazy stories, right? And so he's nervous about who knew he came here, who could watch him, who's looking at him. She's nervous about someone sticking a gun in her face and some crazy shit happening, and they both I won't say they both. She's definitely in the wrong, but I guess it just ended. But it ended bad. But it could have ended much worse. So shout out to Ryan Coogler for handling himself properly in that situation. Shit.
Well, real quick, and he directed Fruitvale Station. I'll leave it at that.
It almost became Fruitvale Station. Yeah. Man, Keith, how you reacting to these gas prices, man? You still work from home?
Yeah, I still work from home. So I'll be honest, man. They don't hit me that much. I would say that they hit me in the sense of because I would fill up today, and then I might fill up again in like a couple of weeks. But the speed at which they're changing, it's fast. Like even this, I've heard from people who commute every day. But when you check in every couple of weeks, so last time I filled up, it was like 3 something. Then I come back and it's like 420. Then it's like, yo, what in the world has happened? I remember in the right around the crash, the economic crash or whatever. The gas is like 2 something. I'm like, man, it's rising. If it's impossible to get to $3. Like it can't happen. Like it's too much. Like that's just not how this type of thing works. It went over $3, and I feel like now I'm experiencing that kind of thing. It's just that I don't have to drive as much, and I have no choice. I gotta fill my tank. I gotta make doctor's appointments and take my son places and shit. But shit, man, this shit it's economically is just bananas.
No, it's rough, bro. And it's like, because everything's expensive. Everything's more expensive, bro. Just the groceries, right? Just the fucking gas, everything, clothes. Like it's nuts, man. You gotta hustle hard out here because it's I don't know, man. I don't know how some people are doing it, bro, to be honest with you. And then the fact that people don't want to work, that some places can't find enough people to work, like that's nuts, bro. Like I was at Burger King and the shit, like, it said, it says your on the screen how much your total comes up to, and then it comes up, you could be earning money right now. Apply now. And I'm just like, damn. At this screen? Right at the drive-thru? Y'all hit me with this shit, but it's there. They need help.
Yeah, man, it's insane. Yeah, like the we know of the concept of supply and demand. If there's not a supply of something and the demand is high, then the shit gets more expensive. But like I've never heard it spoken of like in terms of labor, like of people working. So this is
Yeah,
really
right.
that shit. Like people are, people are getting paid more that weren't getting paid as much before. The people came to fix the crib and said, "Oh, by the way, we're raising our prices." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Oh, well, the cost of labor is going up." And I've never heard that term before. The cost of labor. I'm like, "Nigga, you do the work for a certain price and you make money. So why would you? How could you just come and say, "Oh, well, it's just going up"? That's it. The cost of labor."
He said, "You
And
mean cost
that's going
of living?"
Word. Said no labor, bro. Like today's price is not yesterday's price. Word up.
That's good. That's but it's everything, bro. It's like, cause think about it, like everything goes up. Like I sell shit on eBay. Gas prices going up. You think shipping prices ain't gonna creep up? You think everything, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody trying to raise their prices up. Like, so you gotta raise with it, or you gonna cut into your profit margin.
Yeah, man.
And then a lot of people just taking advantage of it. A lot of people's like, yo, if everything's going up, it don't cost me more to do business today than it did yesterday. But people are just seeing everything else go up. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not raise my prices a little?
Yeah, I mean, everything's going up, man. Today, I went with my sister-in-law to go buy a car, and we trying to haggle with the dude. He said, "Nope." He said, "No." That's it. He was saying, dude just wasn't budging. He said, "Listen, I mean, it is what it is. There's a shortage of cars, so there's a higher demand of used cars. So therefore, and then we're paying a premium for cars and all this economic shit that, you take economics when you're 18 years old." And you're like, "I'm not gonna use this shit. I'm glad I passed the class. I don't need to know economics. I ain't no fucking banker." And then next thing you know, you need to know economics. The shit is crazy.
Yo, when you told me that story off air, you didn't. I was like, you was like, yeah, I went with her, and I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, why? And I'm like, yo, the haggle and shit. You like, yeah, the haggle. You ain't tell me you failed at haggling.
Yo, son, I don't think he like usually because like salespeople. The same thing happened with the house. Salespeople are usually, nervous about losing the sale. They're like, "All right, man, I could work with you. What can you do?" Like, But nah, he said, "Nah, I'm good, bro." Like, "Oh, you don't want it? All right."
Like, y'all wasting my time right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Go
Y'all wasting my time right now. While the dude's feet is in one of them foot massages, just chilling, like just no urgency. He's like, "All right, bet then. Well, go ahead." Yo, it was crazy, yo. And the same thing happened with the house. There's no haggling. We were talking to our realtor, and it's like, like they listed the house for this much. Can we go in, like try to go under a little bit and just see what they would do for us? He said, "Nope, it ain't happening." Like, it's just, no, they're not happening. In fact, whatever they listed for, you gotta bid for more than that money. And I'm like, yo, man, this shit is crazy. This COVID economy is rough.
That's why Kim Kardashian said, "Get your fucking ass up and work." It seems like nobody wants to work these days, man. Tell them, Kim. Kim Kardashian caught backlash for her comments coming out telling women that they need to work. We focus on the positive. We work our asses off. If that's what you think, then sorry. We just don't have the energy for that. We don't have to sing or dance or act just to live our lives. And hey, we made it. I don't know what to tell you. It was some of the backlash that she caught to it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Some of the was the quote that she made, and some of the backlash that she caught was like people like, "Yo, you are leaving out the fact that you made a sex tape, dude." You know what I'm saying? Like, and that shit kind of propelled you. However, I do feel like Kim Kardashian works. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Get at her, Kim Kardashian. And the fact that she made a sex tape, I mean, there's a lot of women who use their sexuality to work. I don't think she made the sex tape to profit off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she made lemonade out of lemons. Yeah. But, I think her advice is valid. It's just, she just seems, she's an easy target. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you dog?
Yeah. Well, you know it's our social media culture. Like, you can say something, so you go ahead and say something. So the social media culture mixed with just the politicization of everything. Like, anything could be politicized. A vaccine was politicized. How think about that shit. The vaccine became a political issue. That's insane, and it became out of control. So now, when Kim Kardashian says shit like that, it's oh well, your daddy's this privileged, and you had a sex tape, and that's all you did. And she did, she worked her ass off after the sex tape. I mean, now she can't pretend as if she has the same starting point as a lot of other people. Even before the sex tape, she was doing really well just in life. So, but at the same time, because it's her, you can't just dismiss the entire message. They're making it sound as if, I heard one commentator pretty much interpret it as if she's saying that, the ladies is just being lazy or whatever. And I didn't listen to the whole quote, but I don't think that's what she was saying. She's just saying, put in that work, like work. You want something? Go to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think it's that politicization of stuff where, before, if she released something like that and there was no social media wasn't as big as it was, I think it would just be like, I don't think she knows what a normal woman's life is like, but point taken. I see where she's coming from. But now it's like, nope. Well, actually, let me tell you about the history of the motherfucking this, and this person in 1830 said this, and you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, okay, man, I get it. You're good at Google.
And also, you say behind the protection of a computer screen or a phone screen, right? You don't have to look her in the face and tell her, she don't grind or she suck dick for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about her because she ain't no backlash coming to you. And but at the end of the day, she's like, all right, take my advice or leave it. Like, then, you know what I'm saying? I'm a billion up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about it. And I feel like to spend more time hating on her as opposed to even discussing the message, right? If we're gonna have a discourse about it, discuss the message. No, don't kill the messenger. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of chicks who suck dick on camera that ain't got $1 billion. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot.
Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, we haven't heard of her.
True.
Ever since they just disappeared her.
A lot of people's daughters. You know what I'm saying? So, but Keith, man, I know we tight on time, so I got a couple sports stories, man, that we could hit in a sports-themed Have You Heard?
Keep connected.
I got a question. Now the question I ask you is how bad you want to know that.
First up, your man Calvin Ridley, bro, got suspended for the whole season for gambling in these streets.
Gambling on NFL games, and he's an NFL player.
Yes.
Sure
he would have been in the clear had he bet on strictly other games. I think he bet on his team, actually, to win, along with other NFL games as well.
Right.
And that's against the NFL rules, so that's where he made his mistake. But I think you might see a lot more of this, too, in coming up, because gambling is, every commercial you see is what? Caesar Sportsbook, DraftKings, you know what I'm saying? MGM. So it's like, the players are surrounded by it. they looking at the same shit that we seeing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's going to be something that I think they're going to have to keep a hard eye on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can't forget about that NBA referee who bet on games. Now, that's a lot worse because he's a referee and he could, in many ways, controls the destiny of games. But still, that's out there. So,
did he bet on games he officiated?
I think so, but the Tim Donaghy thing was so long ago, I don't know the details of it, but he bet on games, like, full stop, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's against the rules. The unfortunate thing is that it's so easy to the gambling thing now is just so easy to do. You don't have to go down to OTB or to the Vegas Strip or nothing like that to gamble. You could literally be in your crib in some random state where that's not famous for gambling, but you have an app, so you could go ahead and gamble on the game. And he only put up $1,000. I can afford $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like on a good week where like eating's not important, but I could just put the money up and gamble it. So this dude's a millionaire.
But he misses out on a whole year's salary now off of
Right.
$1,000. Yeah, so it's like it's like, yo, you could have you could have just had your homeboy do it for you.
Yeah, and you know the point is, I guess, in the $1,000 thing is how easy it is. He's just saying, I'm just put this little pocket change up for some fun, bet on my game, and I wonder if he knew what he was really doing, like how serious.
Also, we should
This
point
thing
out he
was.
did it during a mental health break that he was taking from the team.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know how the NFL works. I know they got a lot of eyes on their players. I would imagine if you're taking something like a mental health break as opposed to like my bone is broken, they keep an eye on you pretty closely. Like, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
Yeah, it reminds me of like if you go on family leave from work, like they keep an eye on you if it looks like you want to go on to the Bahamas or some shit.
Yeah, you posting on Facebook, looking, acting crazy and shit.
Right.
Keith, have you heard Tom Brady reneges on his retirement announcement?
Yeah, man, that shook up the world, and I feel as if like that makes the whole retirement thing less exciting. I don't know. There's something about it that just it was pretty cool to the GOAT and all these tributes and shit. Then it's like 4 weeks later, it's like, all right, those was jokes. I was fooling y'all. It was weird. Like I don't know how to feel about that. Like the Jordan things, like he retired for real. Then he said, I'm back. Like it had weight on it. But the Tom Brady thing, like it'd have been dope if you waited till like right before training camp or something like that.
To announce it, right? Yeah, it was so close to, yeah. I agree with that. It's like faking your funeral. It's like faking your death and attending your own funeral.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, attending the funeral with your jersey on, where it's like there's no mystique on it. Like it's just, there he goes, right there. Like, that's him. This dude doesn't even have a disguise or shades on. This dude is just right here showing off in his own funeral, and and then like along those lines, just as far as like me feeling stuff about football and people trying to make comebacks, I saw Colin Kaepernick doing like a workout video or whatever, and I'm like, man, I'm not excited about this. I don't know what the opposite of excited is, and my vocabulary ain't that big, but I'm just like, I admire what he did, and I like what he's doing in his post career, but I don't know, there's something about this. Part of me doesn't want to see Colin Kaepernick come back at this point. So at the time, I wanted him to come back, but at this point, I just wonder, he's looking a little chunkier and stuff. Age, no matter how great a shape you in, you get a little beefier. It might not be fat, but just a little heft on you.
And that was my next have you heard actually with Colin Kaepernick. He's actually lobbying to return to the NFL, like for real, and he has his eyes set on the Seahawks. For some reason, I don't know, because they traded Russ or whatever the case may be, but he's making a big push to try out for the Seahawks.
I guess it's a good time for I guess you might as well see what you could get. Like I think people are more sympathetic to how he was, not the way he expressed himself, but what he was expressing. People in the NFL, the establishment in the NFL is more sympathetic to that message right now.
Somebody else receiving a lot of sympathy from the NFL is your man Deshaun Watson. You're also receiving that sympathy from the legal system. Had all them charges dropped. Still facing civil case, I think, but not only had the charges dropped, but also received a crazy contract from the Cleveland Browns, right? They said they passed on your man, and what's Baker Mayfield. I keep want to call him Johnny Manziel for some reason.
Nah, then Manziel played for the Browns, and he has Manziel's swag, right? Aren't they both short quarterbacks, and they just kind of
fast.
They have personality, all that type of stuff.
Scrappy.
Yeah, scrappy. What they call white athletes.
But yeah, they gave him a guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. Yeah, my man Deshaun Watson last year was looking like Bill Cosby. He just comes back and gets the craziest contract.
So first thing I'll say about the football part of it is that you remember, I don't think I've ever said it in this podcast, but I got this theory. It's not really a theory, but it's more of like a thing that I have where back in the day I was like, man, I can't wait till this person drops an album. Usually somebody who's just come out of some kind of a controversy, right?
Mhm.
So like, remember I said, man, when Kobe depending on what happens with his case in Colorado, he's gonna kill him. When whoever came from Snoop Dogg beat the case, comes back with some crazy album.
R. Kelly.
And I didn't want to mention it, but yes, R. Kelly. Before we fully understood, we were kids, so we didn't fully understand it. But I'm like, yeah, R. Kelly's in court. I don't even know what he was in court for, but I'm like, it sounds pretty bad.
Mhm.
And when he comes back, our album's gonna be crazy. And his album had critical acclaim. I think it was TP2 on them things he came back with. And so I feel like Deshaun Watson is gonna play his ass off. I suspect he's working very hard behind the scenes. Now, to the legal part of it, people chastise the media a lot for painting a certain picture of people. Now, the media delivers information to me, so I don't have anything else. So I'll say this: what I've heard in the media is that he's hired multiple massage therapists,
Mhm.
and what the allegations are is that he had sex in the under nefarious circumstances with a lot of massage therapists. And what his legal team said is that, yes, he had sex with a massage therapist. I'm like, what? Like, Jesus Christ, man. You gotta, if you're that rich, you at least gotta, yes, I don't know, man. I don't know who's on his team. Where it's just like, yo, after like the third one, it's like, yo, bro, like you might want to consider just maybe sticking with these 2 or 3 for like a while before you start hiring more, because this is weird, man. Like, what's happening?
Well, I think that's what fucked him up. Maybe it worked with the first 2 or 3. He's like, word?
Yeah,
this is what the industry is like? Okay.
Listen, I got friends, man. I'm in the streets. I know what's what, and I've never heard. I haven't. Let me say this: I haven't heard of many massage therapists. Scratch that. So there are people who you could hire private to give massages, and more than massages, but I've never heard of them being licensed massage therapists and athletic trainers and shit. Right?
Yeah.
Usually people go to some parlor that has mad posters on the window so that you can't see through it, that requires you to be buzzed in to get that kind of treatment. And he's just hiring massage therapists. So it's kind of, the whole thing is, the story as I'm getting it stinks.
Yo,
And-
I'll say this though, real quick. I went on a Tinder date with a chick who said she does massages. I guess, like professionally. And she said like a lot of dudes are creepy with that type of shit. Like they'll try, or they'll just get like a random boner in the middle of the massage. You know what I'm saying? Or like she's had some bad experiences. So I don't know if maybe that's just because Peyton Manning, right, got caught up, and that wasn't a massage there. That was like an athletic trainer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like officially. So maybe there's something about the job that some people, because it involves touching, that some people just can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like a normal person knows this is inappropriate behavior for that point in time. But I think there's just some people who just don't associate. They just can't associate a woman touching them with it not being sexual, and then they just don't know how to behave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's not. But I'll tell you, man, the story is just strange. It's strange. And maybe I'm probably just ignorant to this aspect of massage therapy, but if for nothing else, the optics of it, you can't hire. Isn't the number like 20 something? Oh, it's in the 20s, right? Something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of chicks that accuse them.
It's just the process of it, man. This is not you went to 20 parties or you went to, how many ever parties. This is like you hired 20 something different massage therapists. This is just when you have a
And it seems
pattern like
predatory.
that,
It seems predatory.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems predatory. It seems so calculated. I
yeah,
don't know.
I'm gonna
if
get
this
them
stuff is true.
alone. Like it's like why sexual harassment's terrible in the workplace, because it's not a bar. She has to come there to work to earn a living, and now
Right.
you're turning it into an atmosphere where now she feels uncomfortable. It's like he went a whole step and took it to a point where now she's in a compromised position because she's alone, possibly in your quarters. You know what I'm saying? So there's something there. I'm not gonna. I look at him definitely in a different light, but whatever maybe he's just a smooth criminal, right? Like Mike said, because it wasn't able to hold up in court, right?
Well, there's definitely something there. The question is it nefarious? And that's the thing. But the fact that there's something there, and I'm not even going to talk about the nefarious part. What I'm talking about now is just, man, what are you doing? Like 20-something massage therapist, and you had sex with, let's say he had sex with 7. That's a lot. I'm just, and that's not even like necessarily penetration or oral anything like that. I'm just talking about just acts, like, even French kissing. Like, if you said that like 7 of them, it's like, I don't know, bro. Like something doesn't seem right to me. Then he might.
And you're like you're a celebrity, like, and like he's a decent looking dude, right? He's a good looking guy. Like, you're a celebrity. You'd imagine you get a lot thrown at. You have like a massage fetish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you could go to a party,
right,
and leave and pull. You know what I'm saying? Pull as many chicks as you're fucking quarterback of the fucking Houston Texans. I heard though, and I don't know how true this is, that he had beef with the Texans because remember he had wanted to get traded. I guess when certain people were getting traded away or whatever, he had requested a trade, and they was like, "Well, we just we're not about to let you go. You're locked in." You know what I'm saying? So
then he went on TaskRabbit and just hired mad massage therapists?
Nah, I think they already knew he was funny style. They knew something was up. They knew there was smoke there. Mm-hmm. And I think it was on some like blackmail type shit. Like, yo, we're just going to make you, if you don't come and play for it, we're going to make you toxic. Like, we got information on you. We got dirt on you, doggy. Yeah. and I think that's what, I don't know. Whatever it was, like I said, it couldn't hold up in court. But and apparently, if that was their strategy, it didn't work because he came out the other end of it with the biggest contract in NFL history. But there's something there, like you said, and it's something to like squint your eyes at and wonder. But I mean, it's helped. Like right? Like what did Trevor Noah say this week about Kanye? He's like, I said counsel Kanye, not cancel him, right? We don't necessarily have to cancel Deshaun Watson. He might just need a talking to, and then professionally.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of Kanye, man, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm gonna do it for you, man. Did I know this dude Kanye is wilding? Do we talk about him? Nah, I don't think we spoke about him, but
we spoke about the documentary. We spoke about the documentary. We spoke a little bit about what he was doing. We haven't fully delved into like the music video and the text thread back and forth between him and Pete.
Well, I'll just mention this, man. It's very Trump-like, like just the beefing with random. He's just making people enemies. Like they're like, yeah, just like comedians, like Pete Davidson, Trevor Noah, D.L. Hewley. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, and I know we talked about, maybe he needs help. He's having a moment, like, but man, it's bananas.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, though, that I mean, his behavior is weird in the sense that it's super dangerous, right? It's making your ex-wife feel uncomfortable. We can't just let that slide without somebody mentioning it. And I guess for him to attack people that want to bring it up it doesn't help him out. But the thing about it that I think a lot of people don't get, and I would have never gotten if I didn't have a personal relationship with someone that suffered from apparently what they think he might have is just bipolar. With bipolar, bro, it's like you look at it and you step back and you're like, does this person really suffer from being a dickhead? And that's kind of what the disease is. Like, you kind of suffer from being a dickhead. And it's like, and I think to just cancel him and lose stuff, maybe that's what his language, right? He understands, oh, we'll take this away from you, we'll take that away from you, we'll take your exposure away, we'll take some money away. Maybe that's what gets him to react. But I think it's a kind of a dangerous place where we just cancel people that more than likely is suffering from some type of mental illness of some sort. Now that does not give him a pass, or anybody that suffers from that, a pass to just do whatever the fuck they want. Like, and there should be consequences, and whether they grasp those consequences or not, they still need to suffer them. But I also think, I mean, like I said, maybe I just look at it from more of a compassionate eye because of what my relationship with that particular disease. That it's you suffer from dickheadism, and is you just don't know how to behave.
And also, the existence of $1 billion on a social media account with 1 million followers probably amplifies that. Perhaps if he was in private, he would probably just kind of piss off a small circle of people who really love him and are going to support him through moments like that.
And there's so many twists and turns to bipolar, but the real fucked up part about it is he's 500 times more creative not on that medication. Like his mind is like he sees colors, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, he sees music and color, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not on that. They put him on that shit and everything's gray. Everything. And it's like, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So, but once again, you don't give you a pass to act like a dickhead. And even the whole TikTok thing, right? Like, y'all are billionaires, right? And you know, I can see why he doesn't want his daughter, right? Who she's worth a ton of money, right? At whatever, to be used by corporations or singing a song, right? She's singing somebody's song, giving that person pub, right, for free, you know what I'm saying? And now she just becomes a kind of like a likeness and an image, right? As opposed to just being a kid. But then it's like, that's also her daughter. How you gonna, who a mom doesn't put her kid on social media? You know what I'm saying? Like dads put their kid on social, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna tell the mom that she can't put her own, like, that's because that, I get it, that's your kid, Kanye, but it's also her kid.
Right.
And maybe she's not making the best financial choice, or in what you look at as maybe being exploitation. She's also a human being that wants to fucking post a kid on social media, right? Like, is she, you know what I'm saying? So it's a catch-22.
Yeah, and also I think he's trying to claim some level of power, which guys do sometimes.
Yeah,
people do it, but you know, guys are kind of notorious for it, like trying to anywhere where you could grab some level of like power to call your own. I think it feels like that. It feels like he's grasping for something like that. You don't put my daughter on TikTok. That's it. And it's like,
end the story. Nope.
Right.
Yeah. Women do it too. But nah, I get that's exactly what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Y'all tell me when I can show up to the party. Y'all don't want to tell me the address. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna make a power play, and I'm gonna do. Yeah, it's cornball shit though. At the end of the day, and it's not helping him out. I guess if this goes left legally. So you know what I mean. Shout out to Kim though. She's been. I guess in the public light at least, not really getting too wild with it, right? Not really feeding into. I mean, she went on Ellen and niggas' head probably exploded. Having to hear about Pete Davidson getting tattoos and has Kim branded on him, but that's also her just living her life, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
wait, Pete Davidson has Kim branded on him?
Yeah, I guess in that picture that he sent Kanye in the bed, it's like you can see it. I think it's visible, but he has a brand that says Kim.
Yeah, I don't believe Pete's trying to troll Kanye, but man, that's a massive inadvertent troll. Like that hits at the heart, bro.
How do you come back from that, man? And real quick before we get out of here, bro, your man LeBron James, have you heard, Keith, passed Karl Malone to be the number 2 scorer of all time in the NBA. What do you think about LeBron's legacy, where it stands at this point?
I think I hope he plays for as long as he can, but his post-retirement's going to be, people are really going to be able to look back at his career, and like this season is just a blip. They're doing terrible, and I think this will just be considered the rust season, and only sports, like professional sports journalists is going to, like in 5 years, I think just them will remember this. We'll remember all the really cool things he did, and we'll forget seasons like this because they're just blips. Like, he's had so many successful seasons. Even his losing seasons were, and that's going back to when he was a rookie. Even his losing seasons were incredible. And he's 37 years old now, so to still be doing that is bananas. I think the best, that the finals he lost is the first one when Kelly Olynyk ripped off Kevin Love's shoulder, and then Kyrie just his body crumbled, or like it does at times. And it was just LeBron. It was LeBron and what's the white Australian dude?
Oh shit.
That's the Scrappy. Like,
Scrappy,
Scrappy in the dictionary,
that's little Scrappy himself, man.
That's little Scrappy himself. That man is That man is Kobe Covington, Wes Welker, and what's another scrappy? Like there's all of them in one. Like and Rudy Matthew Dellavedova. That dude,
Deli.
that was the second best player on the team, and they took the Golden State Warriors at the time, the best offense. Probably not the best, but certainly the best offense that year. Like. That was before Dame Lillard and all these dudes are shooting from the logo. Like, we've never seen one person do it, much less two dudes do it. And then Draymond Green could D up any damn body, and so can Andre Iguodala and mad tall dudes who could dribble the ball. And this dude, LeBron, it was just him. And that was the one time I said, yo, they lost, but man, he needs the MVP. I ain't never seen a performance like that, ever.
It also depends what next season goes, right? Because if you end your career on just losing seasons like this one, that's not going to be great, right? I mean, even with all the greatness,
it's not gonna be great. Kobe did.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true too. And with especially if he does with the Lakers,
and his passing notwithstanding, like even immediately after his playing career was done, immediately after that season was irrelevant. Nobody even talks about that season. The only thing they talk about from that season, I think, was a 60-point game. His last game.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he ended that. But is it because he ended the last game on that such a high note that we just kind of was like, all right, that cancels out. You know what I mean? The guy can't because he went into that with the Achilles, right, and hit 2 free throws with broken. You know what I'm saying? With a torn Achilles, hit the 2 free throws and then walked off. And then, you know what I mean, came back, was still broken, but blah, 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 but then ended with such a dope game. I don't think we could take none away from LeBron. I think the stats are going to last longer than the memories of the games, but I think it'll put a weird taste in your mouth if it ends on that, especially because his last chip was the Corona season. Like, you won the championship when nobody cared about it. Right, when everything else in the world was more powerful. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not didn't care about it, but it wasn't the most important thing in the world, I should say.
Well, yeah, but it was the Corona season at the time. But now it was when you think back to it, it's just a season. Maybe you could say it's the bubble season. It was when the pandemic hit. But I think now we've been living with the pandemic for 2 years. I think it's just the season, like COVID. To say that these are this is the COVID month. We used to have the COVID month. Oh, this is we was in a month in quarantine, but now it's like we just spent 2.5 years in quarantine. It's like, well, that's just life. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, yeah. Yeah, it's all about how history will remember it, man. But man, always a pleasure rocking with you, Keith, man. Another episode in the books, brother. Where can my people find you at on social media?
Instagram, Ema_35.
Of course, you can find your man DJ Playboy on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Also, you can check me out on Twitter at DJ Playboy. Follow Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. And then check out the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com, for every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, my radio show, The Night Shift, and the radio show I do with my brother, DJ Show, Money Talks Radio. Also check out every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just make sure you search Perfect Talk Radio and we should pop right up. You know what I mean? You know how we do things. Leave a rating, leave a like, leave a review wherever you're looking at us at. Because the algorithm loves that. Check us out on YouTube as well. Just search Perfect Talk Podcast. Got a couple episodes up on there, some like clips. So make sure you check that out and show some love to that as well. Keith, man, I think I know where you might go with this one, but I know you've been watching a lot of television. What have you been watching lately, brother?
Well, Atlanta's out, but brand new, fresh out the box, right? Straight out the frying pan into the fire. That's dope. We were all waiting for that, but man, I'm late to the party. But that Bel Air is something else, bro. That Bel Air, like people said it was good, but me, and oftentimes when people do that, it's kind of like what movie was like that? Like I can't even think. There's a bunch of movies like that and shows like that, but people's like, yo, that shit is crazy, it's bananas and all this type of stuff. But man, Bel Air. Oversell it, man. This Bel Air was better than I even thought. Even with the hype, better than that, man. Like that shit is, the acting is crazy. Like Will Smith wasn't like he's not like he's strong, but he's not dying. He ain't no Daniel Day-Lewis, if that makes sense. But this kid that they got here, man, that dude, he could throw down, man. Uncle Phil could throw down. The acting shit. The new Uncle Phil, I mean. Everybody just throwing down. The shit got fancy camera work. I know for a fact, as soon as I seen the actor dribbling the ball, because Will Smith's supposed to be like this 5-star recruit coming out of high school, the character in the show. But I seen the dude dribble the ball twice, and I was like, oh, that actor don't play ball. I was like, I know that dude don't play ball, man. That's if you a baller and you playing ball, you in high school, and then one of the soccer practice let out, and a few of them want to come play pickup, and you know the difference between the soccer dudes and the basketball dudes just by the way they swag on the court. And this kid, I could tell that he doesn't play basketball, but they did what they can, and despite that, the shitty looking basketball, man, that shit is. Man, what they did with Jeffrey, man, they made this dude Jeffrey into Chris Partlow from The Wire. Real talk. Crazy, man. People need to see that shit.
I gotta check it out, man. I'm late. I'm later to the party than you are, but I'm gonna check it out because it's I could tell from the group chat that y'all like it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna check it out because y'all usually, when y'all like something, it usually goes that way. Y'all not the oversellers. You know what I mean? So. Man,
and the dope thing is that they don't pretend. The show doesn't pretend that they didn't remake a show. Like, you'll see them put little shit in there, like to be like, yeah, listen, this is a remake. Like, and we're not ignoring it.
Yeah, I heard that because I watched the interview the homeboy did with the Breakfast Club. So definitely he mentioned that like there's little throwbacks, little, you know what I'm saying, to the original show, little themes, Easter eggs, I should say, that go back to what they. Stuff that they did in the previous one, so that's dope. And Jazzy Jeff actually had a Breakfast Club interview too, where he was talking about it because he does a podcast, I guess, that recaps, or not even a recap. I guess they don't like to think of it as a recap show, but basically, yeah, it talks about the episodes and they touch on different subjects, and I guess they have conversations spur off from that. But yeah, so I gotta check that. Peacock, right?
Peacock, yeah. And by the way, man, shows like. The actual shows doing their own podcast is genius because they get to control the narrative. Because for years, people have podcasts about shows, right? Like just recapping it weekly, every time it comes out, Game of Thrones, or whatever show. But like now, a lot of the HBO shows, Insecure, Euphoria, like they got their own podcast to recap their own joint and like talk about it and break
Cast
shit down
and shit sometimes on
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like a podcast that's talking about it, like an outside independent podcast, like, man, that shit was ass, and I guess they don't want too much of that.
Yeah, nah, but I think the even doper thing is the old shows that come back with podcasts now talking about shows that they did. Like New Girl has one where it's
that shit is genius too.
Yeah, I'm like, cause now it makes me want to watch New Girl again.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think 90210 got one, like a bunch of them. Like that's
Office.
A smart way to get right back. Yeah, so yeah, Office got a good one. Office got a couple of them, I think. But yeah, definitely. The girls, I think it's Pam and Dwight's girl. I forgot her name, Angela. I think they got one. Yeah, but that is smart because the advertising dollars is just rolling right in. It's like it's smart.
Always Sunny.
Yep. Nah, they smart. They step into the field and they know that it's a saturated field, but they already got the name recognition. So genius of them to do it on that part. But
Parks
make
and
sure you
Rec.
listen to Perfect Talk podcast. You know what I mean? Stick with the winners, baby. Man, Keith, that's another episode, my brother. Say goodbye to the people.
Peace.
Peace.